Well, hello.
Hi everybody.
Hi, everyone. I feel like this is the first time that the start of the show like catches me like where I know it's actually going to start. So I was very quick
You're
to
like
say hi
right on
to
time.
everyone. Yeah. Hi, everyone. This is call time. We're like going directly into your feed right now.
Yeah, we are
Wherever.
invading. We're literally like this is the most intimate setting we could possibly have. We are with you wherever you are right now in your home,
Yeah,
and it's call time.
exactly. It is
And I'm
call
trying to be
time.
more normal this time. I know in the
Okay,
past,
let's do
Nacho
it.
and I
Let's do
have
like
kind
a
of
normal.
like I'm trying to. I mean, this is me being
Okay,
normal now.
cool. Yeah.
Usually, I'm a bit more
Right.
like hello, hi, welcome to
Hi,
call
hello,
time.
everyone.
This is
Okay,
this is a show.
let's loosen up, Trevor. Let's do like
Got to do a little bit
like
of warm up.
let's do like a commitment to normal. So I think like also if I yes, hello,
Yes.
hello
Welcome to
everyone.
call time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to call time.
Welcome
I'm
to Call
Trevor.
Time. I am Nacho, and this is our show where we just take calls on topics and like hear you out and chat and discuss, and we make it as natural as possible.
Absolutely.
Oh
Very
my god,
funny. Not
are we going to resort to this like every time we do a show?
no, but I think it's good to comment because I mean we're just loosening up and people are trickling in as
Right.
always. At least this
Okay.
time we're
Yeah.
not stuck with zero people watching. So
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
good.
There's a bunch of people now. We have
Yeah.
a double
So welcome.
zero.
So this is what is the show? What are you watching? You're watching two people on a screen talking, but that's not just what we're gonna do here tonight. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Okay. You went back to non-normal. Okay. I'm
okay.
gonna try it.
Let's
And I
really reset.
and
Really,
I
we
think
just
like
get ourselves
what?
a minute
Yeah.
reset.
I'm gonna try it now. Okay. So one of the guarantees of me saying this normal is that it comes out with an accent. So if I speak with an accent, like it's normal, Nacho. I'm not putting like a show voice. So basically, okay, so this is a show. You'll see us, and we'll get a bunch of calls from you or from anybody listening. Some friends from Berlin or from Boston, and we'll chat about a specific topic that we have not revealed yet, but the reveal will become. I almost went abnormal there,
A little bit.
a little bit
You went a
abnormal.
little. You went from like a 5 normal to a six and a
Yeah,
half.
yeah. So we always have topics, and you can call in. Sometimes really famous people call in. Sometimes very strange characters call in.
Yeah.
So yeah, please. So the way to call in is like wherever you're watching, like YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. In the comment section, you'll find a comment by the Comedy Cafe Berlin that has a link to our StreamYard, which is our studio here, and you can come in, like turn off your camera, and we can chat on the private chat, and we'll let you know, and we'll definitely take your call once you're here in the studio. So yeah, it's call time, and maybe
Nacho,
we
that was
should
pretty
go.
natural. I'm pretty impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was
And
nice.
you can also participate in the show by commenting on the live stream, like Matilda Kaiser did, where she said, "Hello, Trevor. What are you imbibing in?" And I'm imbibing in a beer, a lager beer that I don't remember the name of at the moment, but it's very good. So I'll figure out the name of it by the end of the show.
I had never heard the word imbibing. That's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know. I'm
Michelle Well wants
imbibing.
to know what she missed. So maybe we can catch Michelle with one
Yeah,
L up on what she missed.
So Michelle, you just missed that like the classic like Trevor and Nacho entrance to the show where we realized that we're not talking like normal human beings, and then we try to correct that, and we also make fun of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically what you missed.
Just deconstructing always performance, I think, really.
Right. That's
Yeah,
what we do.
we do. Anyway,
So
so we have a topic that we have every week. And
yeah,
this
we have a
one,
topic.
yeah, we have a topic.
Right.
And I can't tell if you're making fun of me now by doing, we
I
have a
am.
topic.
Yeah.
I'm going to
So
sit
what's
on my hands. That's what I'm going to do.
so
So
what's
I
the
can't use
topic?
my
What's the
hands.
topic of the day?
So today's topic is just a very straightforward one where we can take it in many different directions. It means a lot of different things to different people. Today we're going to be talking all about the packed lunch. Isn't that right, Nacho? And this was your idea for a topic. Maybe you want to.
Yeah, this was my idea. I don't know how it came into my mind, but I was like, wow, this is the perfect thing to talk about. And I think like when I thought about this, I thought like there's so many things to talk about the packed lunch. First of all, like there's the classic like either Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm dilemma, like what is a packed lunch? Is it a lunch? Is it not a lunch? You know,
Classic Seinfeld dilemma of is it a
yeah,
lunch or is it not a lunch?
it's that classic style. Like, what are the borders of the definition of a packed lunch, right?
Yeah.
And also, like, it's a topic that like make me think a lot about childhood and like going to school and like what were the things that were exciting or incredibly boring and dreadful about the packed lunch. Um, and for me, like one of the things I remember is like I used to always take a packed lunch to school when I was a kid, like very young kid, middle school. And yeah, one of the things I remember, like kind of not very fondly, were eating cold croquetas um, in my packed lunch. I used to have one of these like big like igloo ones that just like open and close like this,
Oh wow.
which was very dorky. And yeah, I used to remember having these croquetas that like cold. They're not that great. These are just fried, kind of like I don't know how to. It's either like mashed potatoes or rice,
These were
cooked and
homemade,
then
I assume.
homemade. Yeah, absolutely. And like yeah, some weird things to eat. And the other thing that I remember is that at the end of the lunch period, like you would have to walk through a door where there was like an adult there who would ask you like, did you eat everything? You would have to show them that you ate everything, and if you did, you have to tell them what you ate. And like in hindsight,
It's a class.
like
Lunch is basically a class, I guess, is what you're saying, more than it was
yeah, you had to
just a
go
break of some kind.
into a big room that was like a break room, but at the same time you had to like go to there. And I guess like it was trying to make sure that children like ate and stuff, which I'm not sure if it's useful.
Making sure
Like
kids eat.
yeah, I figure they
Yeah.
eat like when they're hungry, like if they're hungry,
No,
I feel
some
them
kids
will eat.
don't. There are plenty of kids who don't eat
I think there are kids that
because
don't
they're
eat.
either too distracted or they have
But
other
if
reasons
you're
why they
too
might not eat.
distracted, but like as a biologist, if you're too distracted, like at some point you won't get distracted enough because like you will get distracted by your hunger and then you will eat.
Yeah.
Uh,
So this
I
is
guess like
Nacho. One day, this is how you plan to parent, I
yeah,
presume, is like a
yeah, you eat
biologist
when you're
would.
hungry. Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
like in some way they're socializing like in your brain the idea of like you have to eat at this time, and you have to eat this many meals a day, and you have to eat everything that is put in front of your plate. And I think that is also like I would just posit that this is not very fucking helpful. So
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Maybe it's a little hard to, take in the nuances of all the possibilities of the way kids can eat into a school schedule. But maybe you have a point. I think.
yeah, I think look,
But for me,
Matilde,
this would have been
Matilda
really
is
hard.
saying Nacho is right. Kids won't starve themselves. They want to survive. Exactly. And
Yeah.
also, I don't know what was the timing of this question, but Josh says, "What's Nacho drinking?" I'm
A
drinking
little
it.
bit before you started talking.
Okay, good. Yeah. So what were you saying,
Um,
Trev?
so for me, this like I do agree with you. I'll say that much. And I love packed lunches. I love packed foods, packed dinners, everything. I'll take it with me if I can. I mean, very often packed dinner, I would say, is what I do more often than anything. Like prior to coronavirus, when I was going to perform in a show at the Comedy Cafe Berlin or at work at the bar, I would almost always bring my dinner. Not always, but I very often brought my dinner in my Tupperware and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of bringing food places, if that's what the packed lunch kind of the promise of the packed lunch, so to speak. But when it comes to school growing up, I also always packed my lunch. But my problem, I would have absolutely had a miserable time at your school because I always basically I brought my lunch in like one of those brown paper bags, these classic
Yeah,
brown
that I
paper bags.
find that's a very American thing.
Fair enough.
Like,
I don't get why we did
right,
that, but that's what we did. Inevitably, the bag completely was torn to shreds every single day that I brought it to school.
right.
By the time I got to lunch, and I'd also I would eat my lunch over the course of the morning. I maybe because I was a chubby little boy and I like to eat, and so I would constantly be seeking nourishment in class and stuff like that, or between classes. But I would always inevitably pretty much finish my lunch by the time it was lunch.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, I think like I was so in my school, like you came with your packed lunch and you would leave it somewhere. So you would
Okay.
leave your little like thing or huge thing like somewhere, and then you would just go get it like when the lunch period was up. Yeah, but this thing with like so bags, I feel like I don't know. Maybe the Europeans can tell me, but like in South America, nobody does bags. It would be like is this child going to prison every day, or like I don't know. It would be seen like as weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's wasteful. It's stupid. I shouldn't have done that, but yeah.
No, but it's
But I think there's a couple of reasonable questions coming in the comments.
okay. Yeah.
One that I want to address right away is Amanda King says, "What if it were tampered with, Nacho?" And this is one that I feel that I never put my. I had a locker in my high school, but I never put my lunch in there because I would carry my backpack around more often than not. But I would I would be afraid that mice would get into my locker somehow. That would be
Wow.
the reason I wouldn't stow it somewhere. But that's because I put it in a bag and not in like a dicey zippered or closed lunch container. You know. But anyway, beyond schooling, yeah, I love this topic because I mean, I long for the day where I can pack up my little lunch now and go for a picnic somewhere, go to a lake or something like that. Like, oh, I get so warm thinking about it. I did pack a lunch recently to go for a walk with a friend of ours, Kevin Napier, and I forgot to bring a fork, so I was eating like lentils and boiled potatoes and feta cheese with my fingers.
Nice.
But the packed lunch was good.
But I have to say, like, so I think we should address this like straight on. There are things that pack well, and there are things that don't pack well. And I think like this is critical for the packed lunch to be like successful, right?
Yeah.
Because like, and I have a lot of like bad experiences on this, mostly because at lunch I eat salads, and salads
Can be tough. Can be tough.
can be tough. Like for example, you cannot condiment a salad and then pack it because then it will be mush by the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things. So yeah, so we're very excited to take some calls and hear like what are your opinions on the packed lunch and your experiences and what kind of things you like to pack, you don't like to pack, what would be the perfect packed lunch, what things suck. So yeah, so let's hear the first caller of the evening.
Yeah. So please welcome to joining us again. He's been on this stream before. Carl. Carl, hello.
Hey guys.
How are
Hey
you
Carl.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Enjoying my Sunday. How are you?
Good.
Enjoying mine as well. Do you
can
have something
you hear
for
me
the
all
topic?
right?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Cool, cool.
Carl, what's your experience with packed lunch? How do you feel about it? The packed lunch.
Well, when I saw the topic, I suddenly just got this flood of memories of primary school or elementary school. Yeah, I came to a realization. So, like, my main memories of packed lunches are being a really young kid and having like a cool lunchbox, you know, of some like cartoon I was seriously into or something like that.
Right.
And I don't remember when I started packing my own lunches, but I became obsessed with having everything like arranged as efficiently as possible, like a Tetris board. You know what I mean? Maybe to the point of kind of mild obsession, certainly for like a little kid, you know.
Yeah, but this was so the exterior of the lunchbox was sort of like a social capital thing, right? Like you got
absolutely,
you got sort of like friends through it, or people got jealous of you, or you got jealous of people. But the inside, that was your obsession. That was like your little private. Everything had to be perfect there. You weren't like impressing people by how orderly the inside was.
No, that's where I got to express my individuality, but it was just for me, you know.
Interesting. Your expression of individuality is about conforming everything into one little tiny box. Very interesting expression of individuality that you have.
It was when I was like 7 or 8. You know what I mean? Which you know, this is the first time I've thought about this, and I'm wondering what it could all mean. But yeah, at some point, right? I'm sure this happened to everyone, but at some point it became like totally lame to have like cartoon character lunchbox. You know, around the age of kind of 12, 13 or whatever. And so I used to, I would just, you know, be like one of the cool kids and just have like a plastic bag or whatever. But I would always have a banana with my lunch. And the banana would just never last until lunchtime. You know what I mean? No matter how careful you were, that thing was in. It was just mush, or close to it.
Absolutely.
That's why they invented these banana saver things. You know these?
Yeah, I mean, you may have seen me toting one of my banana keepers around CCB. It's been a while, but I do.
I'm sorry,
I do
banana keeper. I used the wrong terminology. I said banana saver.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right. Yeah. But yeah, there was a transitional period where I was just keeping my packed lunch in a bag, and my banana would always go to shit. And we ended up coming up with a game called, imaginatively titled, Banana in the Bag. I don't know how it started, but it became it was started as a niche thing and then became a ritual for my whole class. For lunchtime, people would just start chanting "banana in the bag, banana," and like banging on the desks. I'd whip out the banana in the bag, and then like a
So you were the
or
star
whatever,
of banana in the bag. Like it was the banana wasn't the star. You were the star of banana in the bag.
Well, I was the ceremonial instigator. You know, I'd have the first throw.
You were the master of ceremonies, I guess.
Yeah, I'd swing it around my head like Thor's mighty hammer, and then just let it rip. And you didn't have much control over it. It was going to hit like a wall or one in the face or whatever. And whoever was closest to it picked it up and did the same. And the banana would just go around until like it had completely splattered one of the walls or someone's face or bags or blackboard. It was a real mess. And like our homeroom or whatever at the time had really high ceilings. And they were like, a friend of mine went back like 20 years later and he said he checked that room and he said there were still black splatters on the top of the ceiling from 20 years ago from playing banana in the bag.
That's great.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, Carl, sometimes you'll tell a story and it's like you have a very cinematic, I think, teenage and childhood time.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it I'm embellishing unconsciously, but I remember it being very
like everything is one of those things where it's like that could only happen in a movie, I think, where like a kid banana in the bag becomes like one kid's thing and it throws it around the room.
I'm not sure I like the insinuation here, Trevor. This is all
no, I believe you. I believe it. I'm just saying it's like.
Carl, I have a question. Do you remember any specific cartoon that you have had a lunchbox of? That like
that's the weird thing because I'm normally great with this stuff, but I can only remember one for sure, and that was a lot of my stuff were hand-me-downs because I had two older brothers, so I'm pretty sure I had an A-Team one, which kind of showing my age, but like the A-Team were kind of like I was very young when that was on TV, or the reruns or whatever, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, the one that I got myself, the first one I got myself was a Dennis the Menace one. Now this is the UK Dennis the Menace from the Beano, and it was a weird shape, right? It kind of was like almost sort of looked like some sort of Ghostbusters backpack, but it had one, and it came with a flask. So in one side there was like an oval shaped area for the flask, but then the other side presented a unique problem being irregularly shaped, and it was like a little suitcase. And I think at some point I was like, I'm too old to be carrying around a little suitcase with Dennis the Menace on it. I want to stop getting slagged.
Yeah, but that sounds like it was pretty cool. Like at least when I think in comparison to my lunch boxes, that like my lunchbox was basically a cooler.
Like Wait a minute, isn't that the coolest possible lunchbox?
And well, in terms of temperature, perhaps, but I don't know if it was very cool. I always felt like a dork, and also it was big. I was a chubby kid too. Here's for chubby kids. But yeah, interesting. Yeah,
that's interesting because there would have been very little demand in Ireland for something to keep your lunch cold. That never would have really entered into it, you know.
Right.
I mean, obviously, it's a lot warmer in Uruguay. You know what I mean? It'd be a bigger deal that your lunch is cold.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we do have winter too, but yeah, I get it. Wow, the banana in the bag. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, thanks for the trip down memory lane. This felt weirdly
therapeutic. Well, that's what we're here for, really.
You're welcome. That's what we do. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Carl.
Banana in the bag. Banana in the bag.
But see what I mean? That's like straight. Like that could happen in a movie, right?
Yeah, in an Adam Sandler movie. Like it reminds me of like O'Doyle rules.
Billy Madison. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of comments coming in. I don't know where to start.
Let's start with Josh Shelson saying Nacho's checked out. I think that was at the beginning of when Carl joined the call.
Yeah. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, you kind of sat back and I think maybe you were on your phone.
Oh, maybe doing this? No, yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
Let's take the next.
We have a lot of callers. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take the next call.
So the next caller is someone who's very near and dear to both of us, and this person is Matilda Kaiser. Matilda, hi, welcome to the show.
Hey, Matilda.
Hey,
you're not ready.
Hi, there you are. There you are.
Hi, sorry. What a divisive and packed topic you have.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well,
see what you did there.
Yeah, I have to say I'm very, very excited. I have a lot of experience on the packed meal, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
One of my first memories was I always got packed things, and everyone here is talking about their lunch boxes, and Carl was cool, and you had a cooler. I just had Tupperware in my backpack. There was no ritual to it. Once my mom just packed me a Tupperware of capers, and I told her when I got home, I was like, I don't like capers. And I think I was like 5 or 6. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, no, I really don't like capers. And she was like, look, it's okay. You don't have to eat capers. And I was like, please don't give me capers. And I was like a very hungry child. And this was like a very traumatic experience. And then she found out later that she had packed me a whole Tupperware of capers.
Oh my God! I'm seeing like a whole Tupperware filled with capers, like very salty capers.
Yeah.
Not even rinsed out, like just with the salt.
And I honestly I don't remember because I was too young, but I'm pretty sure I must have eaten like a few handfuls because I was like, well, that's all there is.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But otherwise, then my dad at one point when I was in middle school, he started packing me lunches because I had to have like actual school lunch. And it was the sweetest thing. He'd wake up early in the morning and cook for me. And like I'd wake up at 6 a.m. to the smell of like pork chops and like fish and stuff. He'd like cook this meal for me. And it was so embarrassing because I'd get to school and open this like Tupperware of seafood salad. And it would be like the smelliest thing. And then once the oil on the seafood salad ruined one of my first cell phones. That was quite upsetting.
Oh, no.
And then I asked him if he could make me something normal. And he asked what's normal. And I said, a sandwich. And he said, okay, no problem. So then he put a bone and pork chops between 2 slices of bread and called it a sandwich.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
That's I've heard that story before, I should admit. But that's one of my favorite things is the idea of your dad serving you a bone-in pork chop sandwich.
I know. It really was very, very sweet, and I didn't appreciate it. But then when I was older and I was in New York, because like New York was so expensive, and I'd be out of the house from like 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. or something like that, I try and pack all my meals. And so I had backpacks full of Tupperware. And I think you guys have not spent enough time talking about Tupperware.
No, we haven't. I do want to take a moment to talk about
Right.
Tupperware, maybe while we're talking about Tupperware.
I think we should talk about Tupperware. I think there's wrong Tupperware. I think there's right Tupperware. I think we all know that the right Tupperware is clipware. I think it has to have 4 clips on each side and seal. Otherwise, throw it out. I mean, keep it at home for your leftovers, but do not carry anything in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we need a sort of like, you know how we have these FFP1 masks, these FFP2 masks. We need a scale of Tupperwares. We need a sort of FFP1 Tupperware, FFP2
Nice.
Tupperware.
I like that.
I think that's a great idea. I think everyone should be using FFP2 and above Tupperware, nothing below.
Yeah. But I think, Matilda, I can vouch for your sort of authority as a Tupperware person because, like, I would say prior to the time that our relationship began, I would have probably never used Tupperware to like take food with me. I would have only packed food that I could like wrap in something or something like that. Like that was what I was used to doing quite much. And then once you introduce Tupperware, I think the types of lunches that you could pack, I mean,
you grow, right?
Your life changes.
They are life changing.
I think this gets close to one issue that I really wanted to talk with you, Matty, when you got on the line. where does a packed lunch start? For example, like just now before I started the show with my flatmates here, somebody said like, yeah, you pack a lunch like a sandwich. And I don't know, like, is a packed sandwich a packed lunch?
Okay, great. I'm so happy you mentioned this. I think a sandwich can absolutely be a packed lunch if you choose to have a sandwich, right? Like if you make yourself a sandwich for lunch. And sandwiches have this bad rap as this boring thing. If you just put cheese and ham or turkey or whatever you want in it, maybe you put some lettuce in it, but you got to get creative, right? This is lunch. It's still exciting. Because the thing is, you got to be careful with packed lunches, because if you pack something boring, the chances of you buying something else increase. So what you pack yourself, whether it be dinner or lunch, it has to be exciting. You have to give yourself mental tricks to not want to buy anything else in addition to whatever you pack.
Right.
You hear
I
me?
mean, let's just say this. I think this gets at the heart of what makes packed lunches so good, is that it's making a packed lunch is an incredible gift that you're giving to yourself, and you want to be able to appreciate that, I think,
Right.
when you eat it at a later point.
I think
Okay, but wait. But I think I have like a slightly different opinion, and I'm also like going to like get Michelle's comment here. And I think like some people have this philosophy, right? Anything that can be packed and then eaten at lunch is a packed lunch. I disagree vehemently with this.
Oh God!
Like,
we
that's
really
why,
now we've opened Nacho's.
and that's why I disagree
packed
also
lunch
to the
wound.
sandwich being a packed lunch. Like, I think like a packed lunch has to be like a holistic lunch, and as you say, has to not tempt you into eating other things. So just a sandwich to me is you packed a
but
sandwich,
you can
or
no,
it's like if you packed an apple, you packed an apple. But
no.
to pack a lunch is a sandwich, an apple, a little yogurt,
Nacho,
some
you
juice.
listen to me. You listen to me. If you
You
pack a
listen to her,
sandwich,
Nacho.
if you
I
pack
will.
a sandwich,
That's my job.
that is the fundament of your home. You gotta put windows up there. You gotta build the whole thing. You make your sandwich, and then you can add an apple. What I used to do, I used to bring some cheese and crackers and sliced apples, because you know how you pack an apple and then you keep it in your bag forever and you just never eat an apple. But if you slice it, oh, okay, well, whatever. And then if you
I don't know that.
okay, whatever.
I eat apple. I put apple in bag. I eat apple.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
whatever. You're the king
Apple
of
in bag input into me.
I mean, like, the topic is getting heated. Like, so Josh is saying like, I don't understand how anyone can possibly disagree with the statement that Michelle made. And then Michelle says like, what is more classic packed lunch than a sandwich? And I don't get it. Like, but
that
like,
is
perhaps
classic packed lunch. It is the classic packed lunch because it's
It's
easy
part
to
of a
eat
packed
it on
lunch.
the go.
but not in my experience. Like, when I was a kid, like they were not packing like sandwiches, right?
Look,
They were trying to
neither-
pack like a whole lunch.
Yes,
So you could
same
have
with
like
me, but you and I
proper
don't
lunch.
have a normal experience.
Right. But then again, like, that's what I mean. Like, if I just like make a sandwich, like I'm never feeling like I'm like doing a proper packed lunch. So I think like I have a point to disagree.
But okay,
Well, okay,
so
what I
if
would
you had a
do is-
sandwich and like a bag of carrots and a bag of, maybe some potato chips, something like that, and maybe some other things, that's a packed lunch when you combine all those things.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Yes.
Honestly, I just saw Josh's comment, and it's like, well, Josh, you're clearly not a hungry boy. Like, if I just have a sandwich, I would immediately go out and buy myself a whole other meal, because I'd be like, that's not going to suffice.
Right. So Carl here is coming to my defense. A sandwich is a key element of the packed lunch.
Right.
But it's not. But he says it's not a packed lunch on its own. It's a sandwich. That is my belief. Let's
say, okay, let's go into a hypothetical world here. You've packed yourself a sandwich. Let's say it's a simple sandwich. It's just some cheese, a little bit of butter or mayo, and some pickles on nice bread. That's your sandwich, right? That's not it. That's not all you're eating. And I think next to that, you can
That's
make
a snack.
it's good. It's a good solid base. Next to that, you would want to have a little Tupperware with some hummus and carrots in it, right? Then ideally you'd have a little tiny bag of chips or something crunchy. So, you could also do almonds. I think you need like another crunch element. And then but something salty, right? I think something that needs to be like salty and inspiring. And then I think you need some berries or some cut up fruit or a melon or a little yogurt to round it all up.
Yeah, now we're talking. Yeah. We all agree with that. That's the way it should be.
We all agree with that.
And I assume there's a line of people who needs to get on after me. So I'm going to say one last thing. I mean, I'm happy to stay, but you guys kick me out whenever you need to move the line along. Yeah. I think that we need to talk
Thank you for the permission.
I think we need to talk about packed salads. I think we need to.
Well, let's stop for 1 second. Because we should say, for anyone who's not familiar with the person who's on the line with us, Matilda, you're a bit of an influencer of sorts when it comes to salads on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, care to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. I'm the creator of the infinitely popular hashtag street salad. It pretty much consists of eating salads on the street. Ergo hashtag street salad. So yeah.
So now that we know your credentials, let's talk packed salads.
Let's talk salads. Okay, first of all, if you're packing a salad, lettuce, tomato, bye-bye. Okay? Let's say bye-bye to lettuce.
Okay, but how can I do that? Like, that's the basis for all of my salad.
Okay, now you listen to me. First of all, you got to start lentils, chickpeas, beans. These are your friends. Okay? Next things that are your friends are cabbages.
Can you mention cabbages. Okay.
Right. Kale, carrots, cucumber, kohlrabi, fennel, anything that is hard and it's got bite. That's not gonna like floosh away.
Wait, did you say cucumber when you were talking about cabbages?
No, I mean I put it in there, but
okay.
I didn't say it's a.
I thought that.
But wait, so kale, like normal kale, just.
So if you get kale you can dress beforehand, and it stays good dressed for like a whole day. You can eat dressed kale after hours.
Great. I'm gonna try that definitely because like my salads for work have been like very sad after a while.
Because the thing is, the other thing you can do is pack like a regular salad, but then you have to bring the dressing on the side.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
You gotta, and not everyone has the olive oil.
One might bring in a little jar, so now we're adding a different type of container into the equation too.
And I'm just saying, you gotta make life easy. So what you could do is you could make like a big lentil salad at the beginning of the week with like celery and onion and carrot. Make like a nice dressing for it, and then each day you kind of pimp that up with different things. So one day you can put kale in it, one day you can put some chicken in it, but you use it as a basis.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was very helpful. I'm sure not only I'm the only one having problem with salads, so yeah, I appreciate. And also like I guess you can realize that it's that time of the day where I get this huge glare coming.
Sunburst, yeah.
Honestly, you guys, this has gotten my heart rate up talking about it. It's very exciting. So thank you very much.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, thank you so much for your call, Mati.
It was my absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Bye, Mati.
Bye, Mati.
Guys. I love you.
Love you too.
Well,
that's very sweet. If anyone wants to say they love us at the end of a call, I think that's it's an open, I guess, really.
So I want to just address this, and like I'm calling this press conference to address Josh's comment. He says if he's out all day, he'll pack other stuff, but he's not eating it all in one go. He'll have something small, then the sandwich for lunch, then something small later. Then Josh, let me tell you. You packed a sandwich and several snacks. You did not pack a lunch, because a lunch is the holistic process of sitting down and eating all of these components together as a lunch. So yeah, So that's my opinion, and keep the debate going. We're happy to have you on the line, Josh.
Yeah, if anyone
wanna...
feels inspired by this, there was someone who called in earlier, and they left the queue, but they did leave a sort of an aggressive comment in the private chat here saying, "What's up, boss? Add me. I have some stuff to say." So Wendy, if you want to call back in, and you had some stuff to say, we're sorry we didn't get to you fast enough. You left, but
yeah, sounds like
I've also never been addressed as "What's up, boss?" So I don't know.
Yeah, we would have had to be very careful with that call, but like, yeah, call in again. But yeah, we have a bunch of callers. Josh is saying now the sandwich was lunch. No, the sandwich was the sandwich. If it's not accompanied with other stuff, like it's not really a packed lunch, it's a packed sandwich, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I'm just, you say like, hey, I'm gonna go grab a sandwich. You don't like say like, I'm gonna go grab lunch. Like if you do that, like you're lying to yourself. Sorry, hot take.
I know. I can see
hot.
you. Yeah, Nacho's riled up. I mean, I've never seen you have this much anger towards the topic. Okay, let's keep going because we've got plenty of callers. I love that everyone's calling tonight. It's so nice. And so let's bring back another person who's called before, Michelle with 1L. Hi, Michelle. Michelle.
Okay, she's muted. Michelle is muted.
Michelle, are you there?
No, I thought Amanda was here before me.
No. Well, now you've revealed the queue. How dare you?
Oh, shit. Sorry.
The queue must remain secret. The queue must remain anonymous.
Sorry, I just wanted to give a shout out to her.
The QAnon.
Actually, I was waiting for my dad to answer me because I wanted to talk a little bit about my dad and his lunches, his packed lunches.
And so we're going to ask him permission if that's okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I told him I was going to do it, and he didn't say not to, and I've been asking him questions about it.
So maybe you can tell the story with an alias to your dad, maybe like Mr. with 1L or something like that.
I'll just call him my dad, and nobody knows who he is, right?
Yeah, okay, that works.
So he was a middle school phys ed teacher for 41 years, and something that I found out like as an adult was that for a period of like probably more than 10 years, my dad ate the same exact ham and cheese sandwich every day. I just texted him. I texted him a little bit earlier during the show to ask for clarification. He said the first like half of the 80s, he would eat school lunches, and then he sent the vomit emoji. But then after that, he started packing a ham and cheese sandwich, and maybe once in a while he would mix it up with peanut butter and jelly. And he ate that from the mid 80s until the 2000s.
That's crazy.
And then he started eating more different things and eating healthier. And sometimes I just think about that, and I just imagine, what if I packed Nacho, now knowing what I know about you and your opinion of sandwiches for lunch, what if you had the same sandwich every day for lunch for 15 years?
No way. No way.
I couldn't do that either, for sure.
I couldn't do this.
But the thing is because I don't know, maybe this is something that other people can relate to, that when it comes to food for me, like especially if I'm cooking something, like I tend to like look at the food like a vegetable, for example. Let's say like a zucchini. Like say I have a zucchini. I'm like, I'm gonna have this zucchini will be eaten by me in some form tonight. I'll make the zucchini. I couldn't look at a package of like ham and cheese and think I'm going to eat this every single day. Like, because what even, like, this is a slice of a pig that came from who knows where that I'm going to eat every single day. Oh my God.
I actually, like, I didn't eat it every day for years, but I worked at the same summer school as my dad for a couple of summers, and I really liked he would get up and make me my lunch in the morning, and he would make us both either ham and cheese or I think turkey and cheese sandwiches sometimes. But I actually can't remember. Oh, okay, wait. So he answered, because I said, people are arguing if a sandwich alone can be lunch or if it needs to have snacks or sides. Did you have anything else with your ham and cheese sandwiches? And he said, no, I would have the sandwich. And for a long while, I ate 2 to 3 pieces of fruit. Then I realized the sugar I was eating, along with some types of cakes or cookies, chocolate. Wait, what is this? Well, the big Ardito heroes. Oh, then when he stopped eating the ham and cheese sandwich, he would eat a big hero from a deli called Ardito. And that could be a whole lunch or even dinner. Never white bread. Oh, I also asked what kind of bread he used. Never white bread. Always a hero or rye bread or even pumpernickel, something with substance. And mustard and Italian dressing was good on anything cold.
I love the specificity.
I love that he diversified eventually and has all these details.
And I do agree with his bread, the evolution of the bread choice, without a doubt.
Right.
And I also agree that mustard and or like vinegar is all you do need on sandwich.
Yeah, I'm still stuck with this ham and cheese thing, like mostly because I'm amazed, and at the same time, like I'm thinking, just because of how like things were like in the 80s and 90s, like in terms of diversity of food, like, and where would you get it from, and like I can't imagine like somebody eating the same brand of cheese and type of cheese and the same type of ham and brand of ham for like 40 years.
This is what he would do every Sunday. Well, he didn't eat it for all 40 years, but every Sunday he would go to the deli. And then when he started making me lunches as well, he had to get more. Like, I think maybe he always got a pound of each thing, and then he had to get a pound and a half when I was also eating it. But he would go to the same deli every Sunday and get the thinly sliced, you have to ask them to slice it extra thin, the thinly sliced ham, and then thinly sliced American cheese also.
Right.
Oh, you didn't say it was American cheese before.
Yeah, but have you had deli American cheese is different than like packaged Kraft singles.
So the American cheese, is this the dog cheese? No.
The what?
The thing they call dog cheese.
Is this the dog cheese?
I think my flatmates are laughing at the other end of the room.
I guess, yes, this is what one could refer to as the dog cheese. I believe it also has an interesting origin story as being known as government cheese, quite literally, because it was cheese that you could ration it for really long periods of time in surplus storage and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, well, look, even Matilda blesses the deli American cheese. When you get it from the deli, it's more like real cheese, like it's real cheese consistency. And
get it from the deli. It's more like real cheese.
Yeah, it's not like the individually wrapped Kraft singles slices of gooey mystery goo.
I know people that would get they would have a sandwich packed lunch like growing up, and they would as a snack inside of it. I had one friend who would always have an extra slice of cheese in the wrap.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Well, and now I'm just remembering that like I also on my sandwiches would just have meat and cheese. I didn't start eating tomatoes until I went to college. I would eat tomato sauce, but not like tomatoes. But there was one wrap station at my college, and that was the first time I would get tomatoes and chicken and lettuce and cheese in a wrap. And then there was a Taco Bell right next to it, and I would put Taco Bell sauce on my wraps. And it was like revolutionary. Yeah.
Nice. Michelle, any current tendencies in packed lunches?
No, since I've been in Berlin, I pretty much like go out to lunch every single day at work. And my recent job, we were served lunch, like there was a catered lunch for us. But I don't know if that'll come back. So I have to start thinking about like what to do if I go back to an office, because I'm at home. I don't really pack anything to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's another thing that when I came up with the topic, I thought that like a lot of people are working from home, and right now it's not like a moment where they can do a lot of packed lunches, or they have to. So it's something to look forward to in the future.
I do notice that like these like insulated lunch bags, like coolers, like when I'm at home and I would like go to the beach for the day, you'd get like this big zipper insulated cooler that you put everyone's packed lunches in, and some ice packs and things. And I feel like that's not really a thing here.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't have one.
I only have one because my parents bought one when we went on vacation together once, and I made them let me bring it home in my suitcase. So
yeah, I think it's one of those things that's good to have. You never know when you might really need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
Michelle, thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was great. And thank you for
your dad.
sharing the great details from your dad's lunches. That's great.
No
yeah.
problem.
Also, have also great memories from meeting your dad, who did a nice roasted pig for us that time when we went for a festival to Long Island.
The pig roast.
So yeah, say hi to him from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.
Okay.
Cool. Bye. Thank you, Michelle.
That was very nice. I really appreciated that. Also, the idea that like our show was being talked about with someone who wasn't even watching.
That's great. Like,
nice.
Oh my god,
we're generating a discussion. There's a web or ripple effect.
Right. Are you hearing Call Time right now? They're talking about this.
Wait a minute. What are they talking about on Call Time?
Michelle says that we muted her before she can say I love you.
I'm sure that's true.
Oh, we love you too, Michelle.
We love you too. Thank you.
Yeah, Matty also here in the comments clarifies that she says she misses American cheese, and she says that it is much better, and it's because it's made of leftover cheese bits. We'll pretend that it's true. We'll take it as a fact.
Well, we've got a couple of callers still, and not a lot of time, so let's just keep going.
Yes, let's keep going with the next
caller.
Let's welcome
another. We got a lot of tonight's an all-star cast of frequent callers. So let's give it up for Amanda. Amanda, hi.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Amanda.
How are you?
How's it going?
Great.
Fuck packed lunch.
What?
That's right. You heard me.
I'm sorry. I think we got beeped or something because I thought I heard a naughty word.
Listen, lunch is something to look forward to, okay? I don't want to be thinking about some sad, miserable, cold or warm little leftover nonsense in my bag. I want something to look forward to, and for me that means leaving it to the professionals. My history with packed lunch is actually funnily similar to Michelle's dad, because in school, all through school, for 12 years, I had the same packed lunch from my mom, and it was chocolate spread sandwiches and bad or a store brand of a little juice box of orange juice, and then a shitty little chocolate bar, like a penguin bar or something, or a snack bar.
Which I covers all the necessary basic nutrition as far as.
Yeah, at big time.
You were having a lunch.
Huh?
You were having a lunch.
Mm-hmm. And because I would eat chocolate spread sandwiches every day, from biting into the sandwich, I would have 2 chocolate dimples on either side of my mouth. And people still say that to me. People from school still remember me as
you still. Oh, I thought they say you still have chocolate on your mouth.
remember that?
I don't
know. I think the thing about packed lunch is that if you're a good cook, if you're Matilda, I would have packed lunch every day. But when you're not good at cooking, it's just going to be a sad collection of a little packet of salami sticks and a thing of cherry tomatoes. That's my packed lunch.
But I think that's you're projecting sadness onto that. I think you can have a collection of random things and it's still a packed lunch in my mind. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's you don't know what order you're going to eat them in. You don't need to prepare it so. We can't all be Matilda, right? We can't
That's
all
true.
have a complete feast before
I do think
ourselves.
one of the most loving things you can do for someone is pack them a lunch. That's to me is just pure, just affection.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah, but I think
note
you're
or no
right.
note.
You're right in that getting it good is hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you do that for a loved one, you have to be very confident to do something like this, because a bad packed lunch can be like deleterious, you know. Uh,
Mhm.
So yeah,
Like last
I think I agree. Thank you for like bringing this perspective to mind, because it's true. Like I've seen a lot of and eaten a lot of very very disappointing
Mhm.
packed lunches where you go like fuck this, and like I want to eat somebody made by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Even last weekend, I went for a drive with Clem and Andy, our friends, and like Clem brought a beautiful picnic basket full of like treats. She had like a biscuit tin where she'd made these like unreal like vegan pizza rolls, and she had enough like 2 for each person, and then she'd made these like apple cinnamon muffins that were in another like tin, with like paper towels in there, and like I'm still thinking about it a week later because it was just, and like a big flask of tea. And to me, that was like, wow, this is such a caring, thoughtful, like wonderful thing to do. But if it had been left to me, it would have been like a box of Oreos and like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think actually, we were saying Matilda is maybe the best, and we all want to be Matilda, and Matilda, by the way, responded that we can all be her, which if we trust ourselves is what she says, and I agree with that. Also, you don't know how many lentils I ate and farted my way through the Y subway. So, but I think like Clem is also probably up there in terms of people I know
Yeah.
who really go the full distance.
Mhm.
But I think like with like a packed lunch or packing even just snacks, if we're not going to call it lunch or whatever, like it is first and foremost a good thing you do for yourself. I think
Yeah.
like that's nice that Clem does it for you. I think that's beautiful. Like I think it is a great sign of affection. But I think also like there's a lot of self-love in there that is important to, because like for me when I pack food, it's often because like I don't want to buy food for one, and I don't necessarily know how long I'm going to need this food to sustain me for. That's why I'll pack a bunch of snacks and stuff. Like if you go out in the woods or something like this, or you go hiking or camping, like you have to really calculate this kind of
It's
thing.
true.
Yeah.
Amanda, let me ask you, because you had a comment that we didn't pick up in the chat from the chat, but I did read, where you said that you hated somebody in your school because of the lunchbox that they had.
I mean, he didn't know I hated him. It's not like I was mean to him or anything, but so he had one of those, I get like, sort of like what Carl was talking about, like it's like a box with like a little handle, you have to carry it separately, and like lots of people had them with cartoons and stuff. And he had, like, this was the early 90s, I guess. And he had this lunchbox that was like from the 60s. It was so weird. It had like a big like rainbow piano thing, and then it had like these 2 people wearing like big bell bottoms and stuff. And like right now,
I mean, he'd be
sounds
the coolest
cool.
kid in school now.
I know, it does
Right.
sound cool now, but in the early 90s, it was so weird to have something so like old. But it didn't look old, like, oh, it was just a hand-me-down. It was just I was just like, that's so weird. Why do you have like weird? It's just, I don't know. I just thought it was really odd. But I didn't have a cool lunchbox. I had like just like really ugly old scratched up Tupperware that was like yellow from just being old.
They probably were the cool kid and
No.
didn't realize it now. Probably they're doing fascinating things.
Yeah. It just
Interesting.
weirded me out. That's all.
I hope they still have that lunchbox. It sounds like it
I
could be
hope
a
so
good
too.
little artifact.
Yeah.
Well, Amanda, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for calling.
Anytime. Bye. Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you too. Very nice tradition we're starting here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's time we do a little bit of a. Oh yeah, wait, you say whatever.
Yeah, just to warm up before. So now we will have our last cold drink with Barcam, who also has a couple of things you want to say about the topic. Also, a great chef inside our house. But I want to just give more fuel to the fire here, because Michelle says, Nacho, if someone ate a sandwich at lunchtime and you saw them at dinner time, would you expect them to say, I didn't have lunch today? Yeah, I would expect them to say, yeah, I just had a sandwich.
Nacho's gonna die on this hill, Michelle.
I would expect them to say, "No, I didn't have lunch. I just picked up a sandwich, or I just had a sandwich." That's what I would expect
But
them
you
to
expected
say.
that? No, I didn't have lunch. I just had a sandwich, Nacho. I don't know. Now you're stretching it a little bit.
Well, she said like, would you expect them to say I didn't have lunch? I would say like, no. Okay, yes, I would expect them to say that they had a sandwich, right?
Yeah, but they wouldn't say yes, I had a sandwich paired with.
I wouldn't expect them to say like, no, I didn't have lunch, which is actually what I said like a minute ago. But like, okay, you know what? Yes, okay, they should say I didn't have lunch. I had a sandwich. I'm gonna die on this hill. So yeah, I'm ready for you, Josh.
Amanda is no longer on the line, but why don't we go to our last call drink? And welcome as we do every week to Bar Camp. Hey Cam, how's it going?
Hey guys, it's great. How are you?
How are you?
Great.
We're doing great. Yeah, it's good. It's snowing in Cambridge. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, it stopped, but it was beautiful. It's crazy because we were like wearing shorts outside a couple days ago, but I knew it was going to snow again.
That is true.
We always have at least 2 fake outs. Spring.
Great.
I just want to say you look very casual today. Sort of lunch casual.
It's had a rough morning. We had there were margaritas that were had at an inopportune time.
Yeah, that is true. That is. Cam, do you have any lunchbox or packed lunch stories that you want to share?
I do, and first of all, I want to say, like, why have we decided to just ignore all of the food safety standards that we've learned about over the last 100 years, and we just I got sent to school with like a ham and cheese wrap that then sat in my locker at ambient temperature for like 4.5 hours before eating it. That I don't know why more kids don't die, just to be honest. But yeah, I do have an anecdote. I'll also tell you that what I'm making today is a cocktail. It's a peanut butter sandwich cocktail. It's called peanut butter jelly with bacon.
Oh wow! Amazing!
Yes,
peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. Incredible.
Yeah. So in here, I fat washed some vodka with actually had almond butter because it's just what I had on hand, which is an easy thing to do, right? You blend your liquor with whatever that fat is. So bacon fat is popular. You can use olive oil. I use almond butter for this. Then you put it in a container. You throw it in the freezer, and the fat separates out. And you can either take it out if it solidifies. It's something like bacon fat, or you can pour it off the top and kind of decant it. And then I added Concord grape jelly. So this is peanut butter jelly vodka or almond butter jelly vodka.
Wow.
But so I'm going to do 2.5 ounces, which would be 75 mils of this.
Can I interrupt between different things? So 2.5 ounces, you said? Right.
Yes.
So I want to say that I've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, Cam, so that you know this.
This is crazy.
That is correct. And you also know how much I love peanut butter. But I also,
how has that never happened for you then?
Well, I only had peanut butter since 2 years ago.
I do remember this now.
Yeah,
this was a big thing. Actually,
I first had peanut butter in Panama. I think in 2019. So
your life changed,
right? So I'm very excited about this, and I also my life changed. I'm an addict of peanut butter. Cam, sorry for the interruption, but I just
no problem.
To say that.
So this is pretty simple. It's that it's already got sugar in it from the jelly. So it's just half an ounce or 15 mils of lime juice. I'm going to shake it up. And what I'm going to say is that I was also a chubby kid. And my mom made my lunches. So kids unite.
Thank you for your honesty.
We turned into adults who like comedy because we had to compensate.
The common denominator.
So when my mom made my lunch, and my mom is not the cook of the household, my father is, but what he made was like leftovers. It wasn't a packed lunch. So my mom made my food. So one, it was kind of bad because she knew I was a chubby kid because she lived with me, and she tried to make it healthy, but also she was a terrible cook. And it turns out a lot of things that I thought I didn't like, I just didn't like poorly prepared. I love my mother; she's a wonderful woman. So I went to a restaurant, and at that restaurant I had green beans, which were good, like they are at a restaurant, covered in oil and salt and
Garlic, maybe.
pan-seared and garlic and pan-seared till they're kind of blistered, and they were delicious. My mom went, "Oh, I didn't know you liked green beans." I said, "Yeah, these are good green beans." And the next day, I got a handful of like unseasoned, barely steamed green beans in my lunch, and it was terrible. That's my anecdote.
Yeah, in some funny way, you're matching Matilda's capers. It has almost like it's coming back full circle in very different ways, but very interesting.
Yeah, I also have a fun green bean story that involves Matilda. That it's not necessarily a packed lunch situation, but it was a camping trip we went on where we bought a bunch of different things to put on a grill at a campsite, and we thought for some reason, I don't remember whose idea it was, but we thought, oh, green beans, we'll bring green beans. So we tried to grill green beans over a grill on a fire, which did not work out very well. We lost probably half of the beans into the fire by falling through the grate. So that was not a good food item to bring.
Right.
Yeah, I would say that if you're going to grill something like green beans, you need to, there's like grill grates that have little holes in them that you put on top of the grill.
Yeah.
You can use. Anyway, I'm going to garnish
sort of lo-fi.
The tiny little peanut butter and jelly on sourdough.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! That's amazing.
Every week, without fail, the drink gets more and more impressive.
Cam, then can you remind us what this drink had? So it was like vodka infused in peanut butter, almond butter, and jelly.
Yep. So it's an
we got to start a blog, I think, with these recipes.
Almond butter and jelly vodka, and it was 75 mils of that, 15 mils or half an ounce of lime juice. I always add a little. I have like a little atomizer filled with saline solution. I always add a little bit of that because salt makes everything taste better. That's it. Shake it, serve it up with a tiny almond butter and jelly on sourdough.
That's amazing.
I'll see you in a second, Nacho. I'm going to try it.
Yeah, this is my favorite part of the show.
The ceremonial part where Nacho gets the drink.
Ceremonial walk.
Yeah. And I love this camera view that we get. This bar is so beautiful that Cam has. That you have in that house there. I mean, like, just
thank you.
I'm jealous. That's incredible.
Mmm. Tasty.
Now, as someone who's never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you can't appreciate this entirely.
Should this be my first peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
There's almond butter there.
Let's see. Can I hold this? Okay, everyone. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That was awesome, Cam. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm keeping this one.
That's lucky.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cam.
Yeah. Give it up for Bar Cam.
Bar Cam. I think you said last week that I need to maybe start doing the show. Maybe I can get permission to do it at CCB so I can buy myself a drink there. Because I have nothing here and I need to do that.
So to those sandwich defenders, I just had a tiny sandwich. Could we consider that I had lunch?
No, that's ridiculous. But now you're just trying to pick a fight, I think.
I'm just fucking with people.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, we're running a
so
little overtime, so let's jump to our last call.
Yeah, and that's straight on to the fight. I'm ready for you here with cocktail in hand.
Let's welcome. I'm not sure if he's ever called the show before, actually, but let's welcome Josh. Josh, hi.
It's my first time. It's my first time.
Yeah, I
calling.
thought so. I don't know
Yeah.
why I had a feeling you
Yeah.
called before, but yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a very familiar sounding voice.
Yeah.
You know, before Nacho and I start fighting, because this is a funny thing for me because I don't like lunch boxes and all that stuff. I have almost no experience with because we always had lunch at school. We always had the hot lunch served at school. But ironically, whenever we would go anywhere as a family, or actually anytime we went on a field trip and all the rest of my classmates would get like the McDonald's at the rest stop, that's when my mom would pack us lunch. That would be the only time when it meant like saving money or frankly not letting us eat McDonald's. Then she would like pack us a lunch. But we had these like nylon. They were supposed to be like paper bags, but they're made out of nylon, so you could reuse them over and over again. But because you reuse them over and over again, they smelled like mildew from like about the 5th use on. I was just like, that smell is very evocative to me now. But it's interesting to me because it's like such an American thing, this lunchbox craze, right? I mean, I clearly in a lot of other places as well, but like it feels like such like a culturally American thing from movies and everything. But I could not relate to it at all because we never had any of that. We had like and I can't remember even any friends of mine who brought lunch with them to school. Everyone always just got hot lunch served at school. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
The hot lunch.
Anyway.
The hot lunch.
No, I mean, it's like, you know,
I mean, look, we're talking about packed lunches here, so we don't need to get into details of what your hot lunches were.
All right. But the funny thing is that if I'm packing myself a lunch, I will rarely actually pack myself a sandwich. But that's a practical reason. It's because usually what I do is I pack leftovers. But if I'm packing leftovers, it's like I'm bringing the leftover noodles. I'm not bringing the leftover noodles and a salad and a piece of bread along with it. I'm just bringing the leftover noodles. You know,
you could treat yourself a little bit better. You could bring the salad.
I know, but I'm telling. I mean, I understand that this has a lot more to do.
You're bringing like leftovers because leftovers like feel more like a lunch. You know, they feel like a homey kind of holistic kind of situation. You know, it's.
But the converse is that if I buy myself a lunch, which I do frankly more than anything now because I rarely leave the house. If I go out, I'll go to a bakery and I'll get a sandwich. I don't then also get a bag of chips and a thing of vegetables. Like the sandwich is enough for me to consider lunch. And maybe this is just
but this is your buying lunch. This is not a packed lunch.
I know.
Right.
Well, I'm just when I lived in New York, I would pack myself a sandwich all the time. But it would be a sandwich. I would just pack a sandwich. That's all I need.
You would just pack a sandwich. You would have a packed sandwich.
I would have a sandwich in a sandwich bag.
I love that Trevor is now on board. I love that.
I am on board.
Like
I've been on board. I've been on board with this because I do agree that like it's not enough on its own. If it's a huge sandwich, okay. But then again, I probably wouldn't eat a huge sandwich.
It's a big enough sandwich. Yeah, but it's a big enough sandwich that it's gonna, like hold me over. But I mean, this is also just like a question of my metabolism. I can't ever eat a whole lot at once. I have to eat like little bits of stuff throughout the day. But I will also make the argument that I think it's also a cultural thing because I feel like certainly in Germany and in other places, like your hot meal is lunch in the middle of the day, right? And in the States, I mean, maybe in high school, elementary school is a little bit different if you're getting served lunch, but lunch is like a lighter meal in the States, like a small meal. Like a sandwich is pretty standard to have for lunch in the States. Mm-hmm. Come on.
Right. Yeah, I think like it's one thing is to have something for lunch, right? So like here in the comments, my friend Jamie says she's trying to screw my argument. She said, if you had a breakfast sandwich for lunch, is that lunch? And that's what I did with her just before the show. And and also she's a philosopher and she's trying to trick me here. But like I would say, no, Jamie, we just had a sandwich. That's what we did. We just went for a sandwich and a coffee. We didn't go for lunch. Okay. So
you lose me where it gets into the nuance of all the semantics of we had a sandwich, we went out for a sandwich.
no, I think like I'm of course exaggerating, but I think like there's something to be said about
Nacho's of course. Let it be clear. Nacho's of course exaggerating.
Yes, about this holistic idea of like getting a full lunching. Like here, Amanda, for example, says like if I buy lunch, it's a 3-piece deal: item, drink, lunch, dessert. You know. So I feel like that's kind of the spirit of a packed lunch. You know, it's not just a packed item that you can eat for lunch, like lunch as the time zone in which you have food. It's more of like, you know, the act of lunch.
Now let me
That's
ask
the
you this,
thesis
though.
you've been building to all.
Let's say I pack a bag or I pack a little box with like an apple and a sandwich and a little bag of pretzels, right? All right. Is that a packed lunch to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, but now I'm telling
The thin
you,
line, you can cross over the sandwich to lunch line pretty quickly.
Yeah. So, but I'm telling you right now, I would never be able to eat all of that in one sitting. I would have the apple like midway through the morning, and then I'd have the sandwich at lunchtime, and then I'd have the pretzels sometime in the late afternoon. Is that still a packed lunch?
So let me tell you exactly what it is. You packed a lunch, but then you didn't have a packed lunch for lunch. It is what it is.
You can pack a lunch, but you had a sandwich.
By
for
the
lunch.
time you had lunch, you didn't have a packed lunch. You just had like an item, you know.
What
I
if
don't
I
have
said
a microphone, but like.
What can't you say that I had lunch stretched out over like 6 hours of the day?
I mean, like now we're getting like into very complicated like scenarios. Can you stretch out lunch?
You started it.
I mean, like, can we stretch out lunch? Like,
I mean, from what I understand, I mean, correct me, Nacho, you're the scientist, but what Einstein's theory of relativity was really getting at was that is lunch the same for everyone, dependent on duration? I think, right? It's kind of
right.
Can I just say one thing to you guys? I cannot believe that your most controversial show to date is packed lunch.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway,
there you go.
Very controversial. Thank you, Josh.
We'll agree to disagree, Nacho. Good show.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
No, we didn't get him. He didn't say "I love you." I may have cut him off. But
yeah, you probably cut him off.
If you love us, let us know.
I love you. I love you so much.
Oh, what? Where did you come from?
How did you do that?
He's got magic powers. I just want to say I loved the vibe of tonight. We had some great calls. I also loved that the same people that called in decided to really participate in the chat. So there's been like a meeting like vibe almost, I think.
Yeah, it has been really, really fun show. I really
very productive.
Appreciate it. Yeah, really nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, this was our show. This is Call Time. We do this every Sunday, and of course we do it to support the CCB, which is the Comedy Cafe Berlin.
So click on the link right down there, comedycafeberlin.com/donate if you want to make a donation to help the theater while it remains closed, or you can buy some pretty cool merch that they have as well.
Right.
And hopefully we can start seeing some shows broadcast from there in the near future too. That'll be exciting.
Absolutely.
Lots of exciting things happening at CCB.
Yeah. So yeah, this was our show. Thank you so much, and
thank you.
See you next week when we talk about the philosophy of physics. Bye-bye.